Okay. Test. We seem to be working. Okay. Let me switch to my iPad. Okay, so Kana brought me a coffee so I can continue working, and we had a little disagreement about these letters here, and to be honest, I don't like them so much either, but I don't have any ideas what to do with them and to make them better. We tried some combinations of different words or like names for the office here, but nothing kind of stuck. So basically I'm trying to make it so it's not so nice. So it's less kind of professional looking and more scruffy. And the more I look at it, the more I think that maybe some like just A4 paper pieces here would be good. So maybe I'll put the bottom letters on a piece of paper. And I tried to make some curtains in the back so I can make this shadow from the letters, which looks nice. Because the curtains are a bit like wavy, the shadow has to be wavy. So that's this. And yeah, maybe let's make this part, the red part, printed on pieces of paper, if we can do that. Let's see. Okay, so let's hide this, duplicate this one. Thank you for getting my book in Colombia. I didn't know that you can get my books there, but I guess you can, so that's great. Thank you. Okay, so let's try to cut this, like here, for example, and make it so it's like printed on paper and just stuck to the glass on the inside. Let's see if we can make it look like this. So the letters will be printed kind of in the middle. Like I have seen places like this, and Kana says that if this office is kind of as shady as we think it is, it should have like just printed it on like A4 pieces of paper and just stuck it to the window. So I bet they are not like good enough with a computer to make it nice and like centered, so there will be like spaces between things and so on. So let's just move these things apart, and like the number of the telephone. Like, things like these matter, and I always get kind of, not always, but I get sometimes scolded by Kana that I don't think enough about these things and don't pay like enough attention to like who is running the business and so on. And the human side of art, like hair comics and so on, are really character based and so on. So it's very important to her, and I sometimes kind of miss this aspect. Okay. Yeah, this will be nice. Only this detail probably will make a bit of a difference. So we can see that this is not like a professionally printed sign, but someone printed it on like A4 pieces of paper and just stuck it to the window. Hi there! So this paper probably is a bit like shiny, so let's make it like a oh, too big about this. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's stuck in the window already a bit, so it kind of got a bit sunburned, and it should be kind of how do you call it? Like yellowish in some places. Let's see. Like this brush maybe. How you are all feeling? How are you? Are you all right? I have my coffee. Thanks to Air E and his generous donation in the previous stream today. I'm now being filled with delicious coffee. So we can add some kind of weathering to this, maybe like this. And let's add an edge here. Here maybe. And I'm guessing this paper will be held to the window with cellophane tape. So let's put some cellophane tape also. New layer! Only for the cellophane tape. Yeah, why not? No, it will be held from the behind, so only like here. I don't know if I'll be able to do this with watercolors later, but yeah, whatever, let's put it in. I'm currently working on this, which is one of the next pieces for my book upcoming, called I call it New Storefronts because I don't have a proper title for it yet. It's a thing that will have about 40 of these kind of made up stores and like businesses like this one. This is not a store, but most of our stores. So yeah, this was for my new book, and because all of these are made up, I tend to test the colors beforehand like this digitally. So then when I paint with watercolors, I'm kind of less lost and I know what I'm doing more. And I can focus a bit more on just painting, and I don't have to think so much about like creative choices, more about technical things at that point. So yeah, I have a line art which I drew with my fountain pen. I just made a photo of it with the iPad, and I'm in Procreate testing some choices. And at this stage, most of the times I also kind of choose the name of the business and the logo and so on, I asked Kana to help me with the Japanese, so it's not kind of weird and it's a bit more interesting than the things that I can come up with. Because if you leave it to me, like all the businesses will be called something like Horikawa flower shop or Kawasaki whatever, and yeah, it's okay, but if I make it with together with Kana, it just gets better. Yeah, it's good weather here in Tokyo too. So I thought that here it would be nice to have so you can see a bit like ceiling lights from the inside, and they don't have to be like really realistic or anything. It's just like a bit so we can see that we are seeing through like the window. And if we add some lines that kind of suggest the perspective, it gets a bit more realistic. I don't know about the release date of this book. I don't really know. Because we have now a bigger family, it takes a lot longer for me to finish like even one of these. And because I'm making these like from scratch and I'm not using like existing buildings, I'm just making stuff up. It also takes a lot of time to kind of figure out the shop, figure out the colors, paint it with watercolors, do it, like edit the files and so on. So yeah, it takes a lot longer to do one of these. Like if I'm on a roll and everything goes perfectly according to plan, it takes me like a week to or something, week and a half maybe to paint one of these. And if things go bad, it can take me like 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks to make one. So can I just copy the letters from the yeah, probably. Bit too big. Pa, 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 pam, pa, ra, ra, pa, pam. Say no to AI art. Say no. No. We don't need no AI art. We need a lot of other AI stuff though, so please focus on like making medicine or other things. Could you please, thank you all to all AI developers, could you please focus on making cancer medicine and other things like fusion and leave art and stuff alone? Thank you. Just a PA for you. We don't need it. At least not in this way that you're doing it right now. Thank you. I have been reading and into this like AI thing recently a lot, and oh, it just stays on my mind all the time. Number pill. Answering your question, this is the same as you would go for any other work, I guess, like creative work. If you have a portfolio that like is perfect for like an animation studio that is looking for, I don't know, do Amazon packages have like the smiley face here? Maybe they have. If you are looking for work in an animation studio, for example, it would be just good to make a portfolio that is good for them. So make a portfolio of, I don't know, backgrounds or designs of yours that are good for that company, and yeah, try to just contact them and just sell them on your things. If they really need a person like you and they think that your work is good for their needs, they might get back or not. I don't know. It just depends on a place also, because some of the places in Japan are still really like working online is a thing that they don't do, and so on, and you have to be Japanese or speak Japanese, because some studios still have this image that if you are not Japanese or cannot speak perfect Japanese and are not living like 5 minutes from the studio, you will not be able to be like a full participant in what they want. But some studios are like, yeah, we are doing movies for Netflix and just using people from around the world, and that's great. So yeah, just I would also choose like which studio you're contacting because of that. If you know some studios that can and are doing like this kind of things, so like employing people that are just from all around the world and like communicate with them in English or whatever, then I would send just like a perfectly kind of matched portfolio and see what happens. Kobe Design University, I was there for like a research student, and then I was there for like the masters. And yeah, they have classes, undergraduate classes in manga and animation, but I think it's more for like it's an undergraduate course, so it's more for like beginners in manga animation. But yeah, the undergraduate course, I think it's like 2 years and does this. This doesn't look good. Maybe screen. Let's try to add some shadow here also. Multiply. I have completely no idea about scenarios. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at that too, and The only thing I am kind of okay with is the comic that I did for the Nichigetsu Jitan, so for the Nichigetsu 10 stories that is out right now here. See, on Gumroad, you can buy it now. And yeah, I actually liked the story that I made for that, but it was more of a like, how do you call it? Like an accident happened to me, and I suddenly kind of had a nice story in my head, but it's not like I kind of sat down and I was like, yeah, I want to write a nice story. But and also like the thing that I wrote was kind of a joke kind of thing, and it's nice and fun, but it's not like a really like deep story or anything. Kana is good with that, better a lot than me, and she actually writes a monthly comic right now that is serialized, and I really like how she kind of puts them together. But how she does it, it's a mystery for me. MF! Hi. And hi to Mega Noob. Though I doubt you are really a Mega Noob because you look kind of pro. So hi. I mainly use Procreate for digital art and Photoshop for my editing things. So whenever I need to edit things because I scanned in something or like I have to make a logo or whatever, I use Photoshop. I sometimes use Affinity Designer if I need to vector things. But yeah, for painting mostly Procreate. Just because I really don't need it much to be able to paint digitally. Just few simple functions and for it to be fast and stable. But I prefer to use Procreate mostly because it records everything I do. So then later, if I think, oh, I should be I should actually make a YouTube video from this, I can just be sure that Procreate recorded the whole thing that I did. So that's and I don't really even like have to care about that. So that's a very big plus for me. So like canvas information, it just it's recording in 4K. I didn't even set anything. So that's a very nice feature to have. I don't even have to think about it so much. But if I need it, like it's there. So that's great. Yeah, I have a big library of my own photos. It's very useful to have one, and I try to use my photos if I can. If I really need a small detail and it's something insignificant, I go to Google and search for it. It's like I don't have photos of everything. So if I need a photo of a bonsai store and I need to see what kind of how bonsais do look like when they are like outside, I just go like Google it. But I have enough like photos of stores and so on that I can just look for some interesting photos in my own library and I don't have to Google things every time. But Anyway, my approach to using references changed a lot recently, and if I can, I try to use as little as I can, or especially not at the first stage of like concept, thinking about the concept of the thing. So I'm not constrained by one photo. It's very easy to get into this mode that I need to paint something new. So you go to the reference folder, you look for something interesting, and then you just paint it because this one is nice. So, but then like you are kind of locked into with this one photo that you've chosen. So you can end up with like really kind of stiff pictures. So recently I have been trying to move away from like using direct references, but more into kind of thinking about things first and sketching first, and then like looking for references if I need them. Yeah, I would like to put more stuff on Tumblr, but I really don't have much time to do social media, and I don't want to put so much time into social media if I can. So I only do it only occasionally when I kind of remember about it. Okay, so let's paint like a poster here. As I said in the first stream today, I don't really kind of see the point in recommending like a particular brand. I use Schminke watercolors only because these are kind of easy to buy here in Japan. I can also buy Holbein, but somehow I use Schminke just because like when I was doing a first big commission a few years ago, I was still working in the animation studio, and they told me that I cannot take money for that commission because I was still like full-time employee of that studio. So I told the people that wanted to commission me that they should just like buy me something nice, and I told them that I want some like watercolors and like Arches paper, like quite of expensive like watercolor paper, and they were like, yeah, okay, and instead of paying me, they just bought me some watercolors and like good watercolor paper, and that was perfect because I still use these watercolors even now, and I just bought a bit more colors to that set and so on. So yeah, I'm just like, I think that you could just buy any brand that is made for professional artists that you can buy at your place cheaper. It doesn't have to be any particular brand. You don't have to be kind of worried about that. So Schminke is good. Daler and Rowney is good. M. Graham is good. Holbein is good, like all kinds of brands. like Faber-Castell, all kinds of brands. Like now, Mijello, for example. Now you have a lot of brands that you can buy in lots of places, and if you buy the ones that are made for artists and not for like students, you should be okay. Yeah, no commissions in the studio because I was not like a freelancer that was in the studio just working. I was a full-time employee of theirs because and I needed a visa, so I was like full-time employee. So I was able to do my own work and I just post stuff on the internet, like in my free time, of course, but I wasn't able to do commissions outside of the studio. Which was the reason why I quit and started when I wanted to make my own book. Let's see. Do I have any references for like a poster thing? Maybe I should like just make it like a handwritten note. Something like this. The angle is really steep, not steep, like really strong here. So maybe something simpler like this is better. And like a yellow color, maybe card thing. And some writing on it too. Okay, this is starting to look like something. This part here is a bit problematic. I would like to make it look like glass, but it's proving quite difficult. Maybe if I put some white paint over the lines like this, then it would work. Yeah. And also a bit here on the doors. I sometimes do it if I really struggle to like convey that actually these things here are behind glass. I sometimes take out like white gouache and just lightly paint over everything, so over the lines also. And this allows me to make this effect of like, okay, this part here is behind glass. It will look something like this probably when I do it on paper. So that's one solution. But I try to be as sparring with this as I can. How is your residential status held if you needed the studio? Yeah, so first I was a student. So I had just a student visa. So on this visa, you can work a bit. You can just go and have a baito, so like a temporary work. But it's limited to how many hours you can do a week and so on. And you have to have the permission from the university. And it's easy for them to kind of revoke the permit and so on. But when I finished the university, I joined the animation studio as a full-time employee. So that basically means that if I work, I have a visa and I can live in Japan and like have a phone, for example, and rent an apartment and so on. but this of course has this minus of being kind of tied to like a full-time employment. So you cannot just go and be like, oh, I want to quit, because that would mean that I would kind of forfeit the visa. So I would have to kind of have a different like opportunity for work before I even consider like quitting and then like changing. So I would have to be ready kind of beforehand. And still, I don't know if I did it. Actually, maybe I would have to kind of like be examined again and so on. So that was a bit scary to be still like on this visa. Like now I'm married to Kana, so I have like a status of a person that's married to a Japanese person. So I still have to update my visa every few years, and I am examined if I'm okay and so on, and I'm checked if I'm still married to this person and if our marriage is not fake and so on. But it's not so painful anymore, because I just submit some documents and that's it for the next three years or something. But maybe the next time I will update this, I will be able to submit papers for like permanent stay, because I already am here for like 12 years. So from what I know, it's like if you are here for more than 10 years, you can kind of submit a request for like permanent, not a visa, but like a permanent stay thing. And if you pass all the kind of things that they have, like if you have enough income and if you don't have like criminal record or whatever, they should give it to you, but it's not like automatic. So yeah. Um, I think it's still difficult to get hired in an animation studio because of the language barrier. It's still a thing. You have to be good at Japanese to even be considered, I think. And it's very easy to just be dismissed or ignored because you don't speak Japanese. Like even if you write an email in English to like an animation studio, it's very possible they just won't read it. They will just ignore it. And it's not because they think that you are not a good artist, it's just because there's still a lot of this kind of view that if you cannot speak Japanese and you don't live in Tokyo, like close to the studio, you won't be how do you call it, efficient enough like communicator and member of the team to be even considered. It is, the truth is somewhere in the middle, I guess. I think that not enough people here in Japan speaks English well enough, so it would actually be problematic if you only speak English and not know Japanese to communicate efficiently. But at the same time, I think that a bit more effort can be done on the Japanese side to be more open, like hire just one person that is like a line producer, for example, and they take care of all the foreigners and so on, and like emails and stuff. And so if when something happens that requires like a translation or whatever, they can take care of it, and that's it. So it is doable, but I was hired at the animation studio also because I was able to speak Japanese. on a like level that I didn't require any kind of assistance of a translator to do work. Hello, and I'm so glad that you're here also. I always forget the camera is there because now I don't have a monitor, so I kind of look at the camera of the computer, but my big camera is here because it has a nice bokeh. Thank you. Hello. Okay, this is more or less done. I still need one poster here. Let me find some inspiration for a poster. It's always hard to make like a random poster that doesn't look like, sorry, it's just something I painted randomly. But it looks kind of realistic. With pictures like this is very difficult because even if it's just like a small thing here, it has to look like it's something designed and that actually has a meaning. So there's some text and like a red frame here. So I'm basically painting like thumbnails of like big posters in like miniature scale. Okay. I don't really like it. It should be just like this with the wheel here and darker. There's like some shapes here. And let's paint some like white letters. Okay, so more or less like this. And now let's make a overlay layer. Overlay this thing. Thank you. I like the new book too, to be honest. I was a bit afraid about it, and it took a long time to decide how to put it together. But I think the result is really nice, if I can say so myself. I like to put an overlay layer, just add some like touches of color on top. It suddenly makes the picture kind of come together. to orange. Yeah, something like this, I guess. I don't know the Trash Taste podcast. To be honest, I don't listen podcasts too much. I have been listening more in the past, but now I listen only like to 2 or 3. So I don't really know a lot of stuff. The podcast world is beyond me. But yeah, I would like to go on a podcast. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like them. Okay, so something like this. And the next step would be to export this and put it into like a photo manipulation software to like change the contrast and saturation a bit maybe, but I'll do that later. Now let's go for what is this thing here? It's not weird. You see this bar here? Like here? The blurry bar of blur. I don't know what this is. Okay, whatever. Because I have one more to do of these and disappeared. Okay, and this one is very difficult. I have no idea how this one should look. It's supposed to be a candy store, and I have sketched it and had an idea for like the shape and so on, but I have completely no idea for the colors. So let's figure these out together. First, let's set this to multiply and lock it and add a layer and put it here. And we can, no, I don't want to fill it. I want a bit less brightness. Okay. I don't know what that bar was. Let's start with some neutral colors then. Like this kind of bluish maybe. These shops are based on real ones in the way that there are some shops, like for example, places that went out of business or had some interesting kind of elements or were kind of interesting enough, but not of type that I liked, or something that I took photos of, and I used them as reference for architectural elements. So for windows or for doors or for things, because I need to know how they are made and how they look. But there's no like one-to-one reference, like, oh, this is not a shop that exists. I went to Yokohama and saw some like shops that were kind of designed kind of European style, and I studied some books. I looked at some albums that have like gathered old retro stores and so on. And after kind of getting all this knowledge, I sat down and started imagining some stores. Some are more based on reality than others. This one is based less because it's quite fantastic. I wanted a candy store that would be a bit like European looking and a bit like a castle, maybe something that kids would like to visit, and adults also would be kind of intrigued by the design. So that's what I went with this one. So it's not based on any like real one place or even two places. It has elements from a lot of stores that I saw, and it's kind of mixed, and I added my flavoring to it, and yeah. So it is based, but not directly. Yeah, this one is kind of fancy, huh? I kind of drew it and was like, is it okay? It's a bit too much. But I finished it and I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's nice. But I don't have any idea about the colors, so I'm going to just kind of explore here. I have my sketching set, my painting set, and my 5.2 painting set, which is like all these three are on Gumroad. You can download them, and the ones in the middle here, like these ones, are just sets that I'm making and kind of changing things around and so on. I'll probably delete them. I don't use them so much. It's just like temporary for the folders. So I just use 99% of the time I use the brushes that I have on Gumroad, like the painting set and the sketching set and the new painting set that I made for Procreate 5.2, and that's basically it. Sometimes I go for like Joe's set. I bought this like because it had nice like wet and dry brushes, and I have like some free brushes also, and I have the Rusty Nib collection. But I have used only few from there, and only like on special occasions when I needed like a nib that looked like ink or something like specifically. But I'm not so much bothered about like how the brushes look like. I need them to be kind of usable, and that's it. No problem. Let's see. Yeah, kind of bluish with maybe red elements would be nice. Konnichiwa. You really have to figure out how to make so I can also hear the music that you are hearing. Because now I'm listening to silence. but the app that I would need for that is one, kind of expensive, two, it requires a lot of like magic to work. I can put another player. Thank you, Kao-san. Kao-san, ありがとうございます。This is an iPad. Yay! This is Procreate on iPad. Yes, it is. Yeah, when I draw something that's more kind of difficult, like something like this here, usually what would I do? Video. I don't know if I have everything here. No. Maybe this file here will have. I would do like really simple plain colors, and then when I have everything down, I start kind of add basic colors and details on top of that. So like having like everything just filled in and flat helps you with like looking at the picture as shapes, not lines. So at some point I would turn off the lines and just work with the shapes and the details. So yeah, like filling in the shapes and then like trying to do colors is also good. I sometimes like just fill the shapes with random colors really, and it looks like really garish and weird because everything is like pink and yellow and so on. But it actually helps you to kind of visualize the thing with like fields of color and not line. I have a lot of favorites in the new book, but to be honest, I don't want to be like weird about it, but I like Kana's comic the best probably. It's because like it touches like a very a thing that I also kind of have and had a lot of times, like you know the time when you are working on something or working at a company or going to school or whatever, and you kind of feel that what you are doing is not for you, but you're kind of too afraid or too not maybe afraid, but quitting this thing would mean that you kind of forfeited all the kind of effort that you put in that thing so far. So, for example, if I could see that, oh, this picture that I'm doing right now is not working at all, I would have hard time to quit it because um, uh, it's kind of, I already put like 3-4 hours into it. So I would try to kind of salvage it, even though I could see that, oh, this is not going like anywhere. And Kana's comic in the new series, in the new book, is about that. So it really hits the spot about like this emotional thing that I think a lot of people have. It's like this bias of like already spending too much time on a thing, and then it's harder and harder to quit. And in like our society, and especially I think in Japan, it's a thing. So you will be told like, oh, you already put so much work, it's a waste to kind of quit and so on. But like um, in some cases, it's really more better actually to quit and just start something different. Yeah, the sunk cost fallacy, and it's really strong here in Japan because they have this culture of gambaru, so of try hard thing. So the most like the best thing you can do is just gambaru, and that means you basically try hard even though something is difficult or like tough or painful or whatever. And in some instances, this approach of just gutsy approach to life is good actually, because there are some things that if you don't try hard, you can't achieve something. Like, I don't know, learning the guitar. If you be like, oh no, my fingers hurt and I don't want to like practice an hour a day or something, you'll never get good at it because it just requires a lot of practice. But in some cases, it's just like a peer pressure. So it's not so like, it's a bit better recently, I think, but I was still like, when I joined the animation studio, there was like a lot of people saying like, oh, like if you join a company, you have to work there for at least like 3-4 years, because if you quit really fast, then everyone will know that you're just a quitter and no one will hire you, and like bullshit like that. And so what if someone, for example, joins the company and they know after a year that it's not for them, and they are being, I don't know, abused or whatever, they should stick with it for like 3 years? That's bullshit. That's um, like what if like 2 to 3% of your life, maybe more. So yeah, so the Kana's comic in the new book is about that, and it really spoke to me, and I really, really loved that comic because it's just not only a very well drawn and painted and written thing, but it actually hits a note that is something that I personally like struggled with, and still struggle because So there you go. My favorite comic in the that's a new bug in Procreate. I haven't seen this. Like this bar here. Weird. So my favorite comic in the new book, 10 stories. This thing here is Kana's. But like there are awful lot of awesome things in that book, and I think you'll find one for you too. Yeah, I know what you mean about sketching. I really like sketching to for these buildings. I would be actually probably faster to do these like from scratch on Procreate digitally, because I could just move things around, make it bigger, smaller, and so on. So especially on the concept stage, I would be better to do things digitally. But I like doing these in pencil so much that I do all of them in my sketchbook. But I think it's also good because, you know, when you sketch with a pencil and you don't like a thumbnail that you did, it's easier to kind of abandon this idea wholesale and just start with something else. But in digital, you kind of end up like pushing it and prodding it and trying to make it work. And in the end, it's like, oh, I just spent like an hour trying to fix things that fix a thing that it was kind of hopeless from the beginning. And I think in pencil, you just start small, and naturally you're kind of more inclined to just kill your darlings if you see that something is not working. At least it's the case for me, I think. I just turn the page and start over. But recently, I was also using kind of a mix, kind of a method. I would like sketch something with a pencil, and then I would put like scan it, and then I would put it into Photoshop, try adjust it, and then I would print it, and then like draw on top of it, like put a piece of paper on top of it, or put it into my sketchbook and put the print like in between, and then try to like fix some things and so on. Okay, bye. To Tatiana, not everyone. No, why? This one. New layer. I need like a whitish cream color, I guess, for these parts here. Don't know if you'll be able to see that, but let's try. Hi, and good morning, good afternoon. Pop. I wouldn't recommend iPad for planner, just because you can't see anything on the screen in like daylight. Like even if you sit in like shade and you have a perfect like cafe spot, then maybe. But if you really want to go outside and just sketch in some places that don't have like roof or whatever over your head, it's not a Starbucks, then it's very difficult. I tried to do it, but it's near impossible to do it. I couldn't see anything. I came home and the whole picture was really washed out and didn't have any contrast, and I had to like put filters on it and so on because it was so weird. So I wouldn't recommend an iPad for outside sketching. You can get away with a very simple set of tools for like a sketchbook, pencil. If you don't want to take like watercolors with you, you can get away with like watercolor, color pencils, or markers, or anything actually that is color. It's just a few pens and few markers, and you're okay. So I would recommend that. And it's better than painting from photos. No, let me refrain it. Re-say this. It's different than painting from photos. I like painting from photos because I can get a lot more details and a lot more like contents from the photos. But the problem with the photo is that the photo has to be good in the first place. And if you are not a like professional photographer, you kind of end up like making a lot of photos and then counting that one of them will be nice by luck, and then you get and you paint them. And with going for a planner, you can plan, you can go like at this time of day and like scout before and find a nice place to paint and so on. I do that because I like to kind of sit down and paint for a longer time. So I take my chair with me and so on. So I first check if I can sit in a place and sketch there without bothering anyone and so on, and look for a nice building, and then I go and I more or less know what I'm going to do. And when you do that, I think you kind of learn how to draw the thing that you are looking at the best you can. So because you have less time and because you have like less tools and so on, it's a more pure process, I guess, because you just have to deal with whatever you have and that's it. And it teaches you a bit different things than just painting from a photo. But I would say that both of these things are viable learning methods. So it would be best if you could do both. Like not at the same time, of course, but and sometimes I go like, okay, I don't have time, so I just did the lines. I take a photo, and I go back home and I paint the rest from the colors from the photo, for example. So that's also a thing that I do sometimes. And I don't feel like bad that I like the past me would feel bad that I went there and I couldn't like finish it on the location, and it's like I feel like I'm a fraud because I came back home and I painted it. But the now me is like whatever, it's a nice picture. I had fun doing it, and who cares? But yeah, there is the thing that there are some things that you can learn only by painting outside, like dealing with stuff. Iago E. That's great. Thank you. I'm happy that you like it. And that the book inspired you. It's not bright enough. The iPad is not bright enough. The best I had with an iPad was when I went to sketch at night, which is very nice actually. I went to like a river with a bridge and so on, and I took my iPad and I sat down and for night, like evening sketches. It's awesome. It's very nice. And of course, you can use it when you are just like in a cafe and you are looking outside, or like in like a hotel lobby, or you go somewhere and like in a shop and you have a place that you can sit down and it's nice and shady. Then yeah, it's very nice. It's just like the perfect like painting tool to just have like one thing and a pen, and I have like to have like a keyboard with shortcuts, and then it's just like bliss. But outside, and especially in like high daylight, it's useless. I had to like be in the shadow and look at it like this, and have it on like max brightness, and it still was really difficult. Like I was sitting in front of a massage place, like for your back, and if you have like a pain somewhere, then like you can go and have like a therapy kind of thing. And I was like trying to kind of make a shadow on my iPad and was like looking at it like really weird angle and so on. And the guy from the like the doctor from the clinic just went out and was like, you know what, you look really painful. Have a cushion to sit on. And if your back hurts after, just you're open from 9 to 5. But I really like the picture that I did, which is weird. Um, I'm using the iPad Pro M1, and I like it. It's very good. Kana has the newest one, the M2 version. I honestly don't see any difference so much in like performance and so on, but I haven't tested yet. It's so well. We bought Kana the new one because her old one like developed a weird bug where like sometimes when she was drawing, the line would go like all over the screen and like glitch a lot, and no matter what like application she was using. So it was just like a error in the touch screen, I guess. So we bought her the new one, and I will have to get the old one repaired, like replaced maybe, or whatever. It's not like on Apple Care anymore. So, but from what we researched, the older iPad Pros, the ones with not the M1 or M2 processors, had this kind of weird thing that happens sometimes. So that's a thing. Hey, I'm good. I think I'm drawing, which is good. And in half an hour, more or less, I will go and shower our son, because about at 5 he has his shower. So and I'm trying to figure out this candy store, which maybe should be a bit cheerful, so I'll put more like saturation in it. Okay. Yeah, our is not inside the guarantee, so probably we will have to just pay for the fix. But even though it will be better to get it fixed and then sell it than just like throw it away or anything. But Kana is using it for like reference purposes, so she's just like painting on one and using the old one for references and so on. Because like me, she is trying to not look at her laptop so much. Yeah, so probably we'll get it fixed if we can. And let's see. But we haven't had problems with the M1 and or M2 ones so far. I had this one for like, what, 2 years already, about, I think? And I bought it really just after it came out, the M1 one. And this is the bigger one, right? This is the, I think, like what, 12.9 inches? Overall, I have been really happy about the Apple products that I have recently. I have been using the M1 iPad, and I have been using the M1 Mac Mini, and I have now the M1 Pro, MacBook Pro, which I bought recently because I just got annoyed with having like a huge screen in my face all the time on my desk. So I decided to try to buy a laptop that I can just fold away and get out of my desk space when I don't need it. I can put some reference photos or whatever on my iPad and then paint with that, just with by hand when I'm doing my my like sketching or whatever, and I don't have to have like a huge screen that's like there all the time, and thanks to that I also have more space on my desk. So that's what I have been trying to do recently. It took me some time to get everything on my new computer and like set up everything, including like OBS for screen capture and stuff. Yeah, but so far so good, and nothing seems to be exploding. So, and I don't even hear like any fan noise or anything from this laptop, which is good, because the previous one that I had, like the Intel one, was so loud that it just annoyed the crap out of me. When I was trying to do like live streaming on it, it was like really loud. So yeah, overall, I'm really pleased about how things are right now. And yeah, but I have seen news about, I think, Dell laptop that was very interesting because they were trying to do something that would allow users to just like change like components in their laptop. So they made like a laptop where you can just like insert a special tool into the case, like from the side, and it just kind of comes apart, and you can replace like the GPU, the motherboard, the battery, and all kinds of components in there. You don't even like need a screwdriver to do that, which was really interesting. But it's only like a prototype, so I don't think we will see anything like that soon. But if Apple, for example, did a laptop that you could like open up and change the M1 motherboard to an M2 motherboard and have the rest like the same, because you don't need like a better like screen or whatever, or just like change the screen because you want a better screen or something, that would be awesome. Good morning. I see a fellow JoJo fan and I approve. Kana likes that a lot, like the manga, so I also am. I also know of it, but don't know it so much. Yeah, so I want to make it kind of cozy. So let's try with like kind of golden color for the insides for now. Well, as I said, I really don't know what I'm doing with this one. The previous one, I kind of knew what I was doing. Like, okay, this is an office building like this, but like whoever saw a shop like this. So I have some ideas, but I'm not sure. Like any deep green kind of color for the. Yeah, it looks really nice, the laptop. And it actually didn't look ugly for a change, because a lot of these kind of modular projects, like from like startups and so on, they kind of look clunky and ugly. Like you can buy some laptops that are like open source and so on that you can like open up and do stuff with. But most of them are really kind of ugly and heavy and so on. So I would like really like something like that. Also, like the company that makes it would have to actually be true to their promise and not like abandon it after 3 years, because it's not there's no point then. You wouldn't have any parts to actually swap inside. There will be Q&A this month, and we are actually thinking about doing some Q&As with Kana, also on Patreon. We will probably do something like I did with the cars previously. So Kana will make a Q&A first, and then we will do like this thing when I post some like for example cars, then you paint these cars, and then we comment on the paintings, like do like a correction session, like commentary session on these. So this time probably we will try to do something like this with characters. And because I'm completely not a good person to ask about character design and like painting and drawing characters, like Kana will make it. And so we will probably upload like photos for you to use as references or something like that. And the next month, Kana will make like a correction session on that. So that will be something interesting, I guess, to look forward to, because yeah, I might actually do something for that. So like be in the student role, so to say. So I will also like do one picture and have it kind of commented on. It's really something I have to work on. So yeah. So it will be like character critique, but we want to make it kind of consistent. So if we just say, okay, send us your character and we will like critique it, it will be so kind of apart. Everyone will be like doing their own stuff. So that would be very, very difficult to kind of be objective and know enough about your character to do. But maybe we thought that if we give you like I don't like the word prompt because it's kind of tainted now. But if we give you some like prompts and maybe some like reference photos to use, and like everyone does like a character based on a photo, and then we can have like at least like similar starting points for everyone. So yeah, probably we'll do that, but we'll see. But we want to do something with Kana for the Patreon. Yeah, this will be on the lowest tier. Like as always, the Q&A are for the lowest tier. From the lowest tier, the higher tier is only for like if you want to download like videos and like the Hokkaido in Ink book and so on for in your tier. I don't really like it. I would just like to make like one tier and so on, but it would be very easy for someone like to just put like $1, download everything and just quit. So just because there are some things that like the book, for example, that's a bit more expensive, it would be like unfair to people who actually went and bought it. So that's why I have the two tiers, but the Q&As are always like for everyone. So yeah, usually we did it with just an email. You would send it to my email box, and we gather it and look at it, and then comment it online during the Q&A. The file doesn't have to be big. It can be just like a JPEG. So it's easier this way. Either way, we don't have enough time to like go through like multiple pictures from one person. So we kind of limit it to one picture per person in these kind of sessions. Like even though I got so much like of the car drawings last time that I had to do it like in two Q&As. Okay, so we have 10 minutes and I'll go bathe our sun. I'm the sun bather. Where are the thingies? Okay, whatever. I'll just make a new layer. Okay, let's try to add a rough shadow on this so we can kind of see how does it look. Multiply, bigger brush, kind of shadowy color. Okay, let's see. No, doesn't work. Why? Sometimes this gets stuck and I have to kind of prod it again to multiply. Yeah, probably we'll go like one session just kind of talking about things and do like answering questions, and then the next month we will have like the review session thing. Yeah, I'm pretty pale. It's a different kind of sun. And I'm doing these shadows. I try to imagine what angle would be kind of most beneficial for the picture to look kind of interesting. So if it was from this side, this drops a shadow here, so it's interesting. If it would be from this side, it would drop the shadow somewhere behind, like here, so it would be less interesting. So maybe we should have a shadow like from here. So the whole thing is more kind of 3D. No, it's okay. I'm a dad also right now, so I'm allowed, and I'm immune probably also. So I actually enjoyed dad jokes. Whatever. I mean, maybe because I'm not a native English speaker, so any kind of wordplay in English or in Japanese is kind of amusing for me. So I do dad jokes a lot, and I also enjoy dad jokes because they kind of allow you to learn things about language. And like notice things about language. Yeah, there is a pattern in which I sometimes upload like sketches and stuff if I have something, but mostly it's like Q&A sessions each month. And recently we have been thinking with Kana that she should also do something like on the Patreon. She should like she wants to do something on the Patreon. and because she's a comic artist and does more characters than anything, we thought that we could do something like a character commentary thing where the Patreon supporters upload like their designs or sketches, like drawings of characters, and Kana would do something like that I did for cars and for buildings. Uh, so commentary on these designs. So I'm always careful not to say that these are like how do you call it? Like you were in school. It's not. There's no kind of right or wrong. It's just our comments on what we think. So I actually have tried airbrushing like with a real airbrush few times. Once I tried it with real kind of car paint and stuff, and it was very difficult. And the second time I actually had a compressor and an airbrush at home for a period of time because I used these like the animation background painters use them. So I use them for like special effects and like fog and like gradients and stuff on some paintings. I use them. I used it actually for Tokyo at Night on many pieces there. I would just put watercolor in the airbrush and use it for like making just stronger shadows and so on. That's a nice one. But yeah, I don't like how I cannot control it well enough to be kind of convinced by painting something with an airbrush. I like hard edges, like brushes like this, rather than like this. So maybe I'm not just in the right kind of style of painting to benefit a lot from an airbrush. And I was thinking that for the windows that are here, I could actually make them like colorful. I haven't seen the new movie from Makoto Shinkai because we are kind of um, avoiding crowds if we can. So I'll probably see it when it comes out online or like on a Blu-ray or something. Um, Mostly for technical stuff because um, I very much like Makoto Shinkai's movies for the quality of their like visual side than the stories. Uh, so yeah, for that I will see it for sure. I appreciate the fact that there are many people who like his stories for the stories, for the contents and the characters, but it's just not my piece of cake. But I really can appreciate that for the artistry of the digital art that is there. Um, we are vaccinated 4 times, so that's one thing, and that was very difficult because Kana was pregnant for the most part, So we had a very difficult decision to take if she could like take the vaccine and so on while pregnant. But from what we decided in the end was that she should, so she did. So we both were vaccinated 4 times already, and our small son also had like first like two, I think, vaccines for COVID. We are not so much at risk of getting COVID because we don't go to like crowded places and we work from home, so we just don't use trains and so on so much. The biggest kind of deal for me is that I really would like to go to Poland to visit my parents, or for my parents to come here to visit us and see our new son and their grandson, but because of COVID, they were not able to do it yet. So, okay, people, I think I'll be finishing for now because I have to go be a sunbather and bathe our son. But maybe in the evening I'll be able to come online again. So today we already finished this one. I'm still not really happy about these letters here, but let's see. And we did a lot of this one, but these are just like really rough colors, and I'll probably change a lot of these. That's why I have everything on separate layers. Okay, so stay happy and stay drawing, making art, and stay safe, please. So yeah, see you in the next stream. I don't know if it will be today, but maybe. Okay, thank you for joining me today, and don't forget to check out the comics now on Gumroad. 180 pages of comic for you for only $12. So the link is in the description and on my page. Okay, thank you very much, and see you later.